Hello, I am the Convolutional Neural Gamer, and this is AI War. So, where was I? It's been a little while since I was last able to play. I'm busy. Looks like I was in the middle of taking this planet. Yep. So, I need to get to here to get the Exodian Blade. Yeah, I've had a few... taken a look at the way the other videos turned out. I've tried to tweak some of the volume settings. I feel like the music was a little bit loud. Hopefully I can make this video a little bit better. I also intend to try to avoid saying quite as much, but, you know, things happen. So, I need to take out this fortress here. That's probably going to be somewhat tricky because fortresses are interesting. If you look at the fortress, you look at the tooltip here, it's got attack multiplier polycrystal 0.01 and scout 0.05. That means, well, if you look at its actual attack though, it's 4,000 times 50. The fort will absolutely obliterate anything that is not a scout or polycrystal. Now, I said before that the transports are not good against it. They, I believe, are actually scout hull. It's just that that doesn't seem to be quite enough even then. You really need bombers. I'll probably send the transport in anyway, since they should last a little while, but I don't know. 5,000 times 0.05, so 1/20th. 40. Yeah, they might be okay. I seem to recall them dying before, but maybe I am not remembering quite correctly. So there are a couple of points I was thinking about from last video that I thought I should clarify. First one, AI progress. I was saying if AI progress gets too high, you will lose the game. I should probably clarify that I don't mean like you will automatically lose the game. I mean you will lose the game because the AI will get more and more units and kill you. There is a somewhat important difference between those two. I thought it was a Fort Range or something. What mode do I put this in? Okay. So, I'll just clear out this last guard post, trying to stay out of range of the fortress here. Now if I look here, we've got quite a few fighters here. Fighters are good against bombers, which is obviously annoying for this particular situation because they're sitting right underneath the fortress, so there's not really a way to counter them. It's a bit of a problem with fortresses, and probably one of the reasons why they're actually going to be completely removed from AI War 2. Well, I don't know if they're going to be completely removed. The AI is not going to get them in AI War 2, is my understanding. So that will make that issue not appear in that game, in theory. This kite flyer AI is going to be endless fun, I'm sure. Oh, they're going to fly right past the fortress. I guess I'm about to find out how well they survive it. Yeah, it takes off a chunk, but doesn't instant kill it, but it would kill it in a few volleys. Which is, you know, better if it didn't. Usually, you'll have noticed this transports last quite a while, so very different thing. So, the other thing I was going to mention, this is tab. That is what I'm pressing to get to the galaxy map. I probably should have mentioned that. It's not a particularly obvious hotkey, and it's pretty critical to playing the game. It's also, it does actually tell you this, but control click is what gets you through the wormhole. So, coming back to this planet, all these guys here, when I sort of poke at the AI units, they'll get released as threat. Oh yes, this iron cannon over here is going to have to die because otherwise it'll murder my bombers very quickly. So they get released as threat, and then they're able to, you know, do what you saw those other ones doing, sit by one of my wormholes and kill me when they get the opportunity. They've got Spire Maws. Maws are one of the more complicated units in the game. They're a swallowing unit, which means that they will basically make your ships disappear, and they sort of eat them, and they sort of go inside these ships and lose health over time until they are actually dead. I've lost almost all my health for going back and forth through a one of those wormholes. As I meant, so the Spire Maws are basically only dangerous to Spire Maws are a swallowing ship that can only swallow small ships. So again, transport, starships, that kind of thing are immune. But your larger ships are like your smaller ships are going to die really quickly to them unless you can overwhelm them with sheer numbers. It's a bit, this transport playstyle is a bit of a back and forth thing where you're running around to restore health all the time. Now, I also, this is here, when you send it, unless you can change it in the control center, but by default, when you send a scout to a planet, it'll hide at the outer edges of the solar system, and that will let you, that will mean they will basically never find it, and you can just sort of keep an eye on the planets, which you can see here. I'm keeping an eye on these two, because I want to know what's happening in the planets adjacent to me, looking for threat fleets and things that are going to cause me problems if I don't deal with them. Unfortunately, I'm getting the special forces here. Hopefully I can clear out these special forces and then I can start worrying about dropping off the bombers. I might want to separate out my ships, because I mentioned these guys have infinite engine health, so these riot control starships can't destroy their engines. But the bombers do have finite engine health, so they will be in trouble if I let them fight the riot control starships. So I'd best take them out before I unload the bombers. Okay, that's done. Unload everything, and then this pane over here is quite useful. There's a hotkey that can end up giving you a different pane, which is completely useless. I never remember what it is, so I get annoyed when I get stuck on that. It allows you to, if you just click here, you can select all of that shit's height, which is very helpful. I believe, once again, I think the fortress has radar dampening. 30,000, and it's got range, presumably. Oh no, it actually has less range than its radar dampening. Oh, so I wonder if that means I can actually bomb the fortresses. Oh, are they immune to the shots or something? These guys shoot antimatter bombs. And you are, the fortress is actually immune to antimatter bombs. I wonder if I can use these guys to pick off these little fighters down here, though. Yes, I can. Okay, that should make this considerably easier, because that'll draw, all of these guys are going to be drawn out of position, and that means I can not have to fight them when I'm with my bombers, and actually just have my main fleet fight them. So, we're going to unload all the bombers here. They can have fun with that, and these guys can come back and finish off these guys. This guy's a tractor guardian, so it can actually grab a whole bunch of your ships and drag them away. They're likely to do something like drag it into the range of this fortress or something else that's going to murder you. So you'll see even this tiny bomber is going to get shot by the fortress, and it'll take a couple of volleys for this giant fortress to kill the tiny bomber. It's kind of ridiculous, the amount of damage reduction the bombers get versus the fortress. It's a very much hard counter situation. Most games have relatively soft counters. This game has a couple of places where they're very much hard counters. So, why am I taking this planet? I'm I'm taking it because it's got an advanced research station and it has a core shield generator. The core shield generators of Group A always come with the advanced research stations. These advanced research stations are not really the reason I am taking the planet, though. It's really the core shield generator. This progresses me towards winning the game, and I can't win without doing it well. I might be able to win without doing it because of the Exodian Blade, but normally you can't win without taking out these core shield generators. That... I don't know how the Exodian Blade works. I might be able to, I might not. So, I have to take this planet. I have to take the AI progress that I get from taking out these command stations, and that's why I'm doing that. You can see here, a freaking Tractor Guardian has come up and he's stolen all my bombers without me noticing. Which is kind of disastrous. I need to take him out before he drags him through into that wormhole, which would be just really, really bad. Oh god. Oh god. I have no idea what's through here. Iron cannons. Awfulness. It's a Mark III planet, so the enemies are really powerful too. Please kill that. Oh, that was bad. Oh, this is really low health too. I don't... Okay, yeah, these guys have got to flee. I kind of wanted to rescue. You can see it says up here a bunch of my ships have been swallowed by the Spy Maw, so I kind of wanted to kill it and free my ships. But that's not going to happen without my transports dying, and I don't want my transports to die, so I have to retreat. Now, one thing to note, if you go... I said those transports lose health outside supply. If I went out to here, that means I have to have a fair amount of health to get back, because otherwise when I jump into this planet, the transports will just explode. So if I had gotten that low and I was out here, my transports would have exploded immediately, which would have been quite annoying. So you need to be cautious about that, I guess. It is what, you know, the whole thing about being vulnerable to... the whole thing where they can't travel very far is one of very... What are they doing? Is one of very few weaknesses that the transport has, but it is actually a kind of non-trivial weakness. It does cause some real problems. So hopefully I don't get jumped by a Tractor Guardian again. That was somewhat unusual, really. Usually that doesn't happen in quite such a surprising manner. I'll just send everyone over there. These guys have decent general reduction against it. They won't die in the first volley, like most things. I'm also going to try to watch my time so that I actually get some proper outros in for this video, rather than what I had before. Oh god. The game is not giving me a break at the moment. They keep giving me more and more things that are going to cause problems for my bombers. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. The fortress is actually attacking my bombers. It's kind of unfortunate, actually. It'd be kind of really clever if, you know, you've got your bombers as the only thing hanging around the fortress, and the AI like spawned the Tractor Guardian to try to drag them away and cause you problems. But I don't believe it does any of that stuff deliberately. It's all about the fairly random spawning of units that it does around guard posts. Because depending on the AI progress, the AI gets a certain amount of points with which it can spawn new units. These points will... I did get one further, that's nice. It can pick which planet it puts these points on, and the game's changed a lot over time, so the last time I learned how these mechanics works, the number of guard posts sort of decided how many ships it could spawn maximum. I don't know if it affects how fast they can spawn in new ships. It might be somewhat invariant, but the maximum number. Certainly, having more guard posts means the AI can have more ships on the planet, which makes them a bigger problem for you to deal with and walk through. Having a neutered planet like this, generally you can just waltz on through with as if it's one of your planets, almost, which is quite helpful. And there's another one of these. Oh no, it's just a raider. I thought it was a raid starship. Okay, there's that fortress dealt with. Said it would be a bit of a nuisance. So we're going to now go through the process of colonizing a new planet, which I will use one of these for. This is a colony ship. It's just what you use to make new command stations. One thing I didn't mention, these turret types I haven't built are also good. You can no, I don't really have enough energy for them, so I won't do that just yet. They're probably in my opinion, still the least useful. The good thing about them is they have area of effect damage, and they are also most units when they attack from force fields, as I've mentioned before, only do 25% damage, so you really don't want them under force fields. Those guys, when they're under force fields, will do what percentage? They do 75% damage. That was what it was, and that obviously means that you can have them under force fields without taking nearly as much of a penalty. So I attack this. So taking the planet. I attack this. I get AI progress. AI taunts you because it generally makes taunts that claim that your achievements are not particularly relevant. You know, it doesn't really care that much about the progress you're making or the things that you're destroying. So I put down the command center. This will slowly build. If I had some engineers, I could make it faster. Well, I couldn't actually here because I have no supply here. If I was here, I could send some engineers, they would have supply and they'd be able to build the command station faster. I don't have supply here, so engineers can't work as I recall, unless that's changed in some patch. And I can look at the engineer. Everything generally is in these little tooltips. Okay, I don't actually see require supply, so maybe they changed that at some point. So maybe they don't require supply anymore. Many things do require supply. Are you all your turrets tend to require supply? Yeah, require supply is written there, and that's particularly important for them for the turrets because turrets. They're just going to dive us in there, but whatever. It's particularly important for turrets because that means that if your command station dies and there's no command station in an adjacent planet, all your turrets will immediately turn off. Which, that obviously can make your defense a lot less effective because your command stations don't have that much health. The military command station, military 3 command station, has 90,000 health. That's not even as much as one of these assault transports. It's pretty bad. I think it's 90,000. Yeah, 90,000. We're bringing you back to the whole paper mache home command station. Your most important build in home command station is 20,000 health. I mean, really? You think it should at least have more health than the military command stations, but no. So, I'll build up this military command station. Now, I didn't really mention why these guns that the military command station has are so effective. Because it's actually got 12 guns that deal 300 damage, which isn't terrible. And fire every 2 seconds, again, pretty good. But they also deal 200 engine damage, which means that the enemy ship isn't going to be able to move very fast after being shot. it paralyzes them for 5 seconds. So for the first 5 seconds, they can't even move. For the next little while, they... for the first 5 seconds, they can't even move. For the next little while, their engines are down, so they can't move very fast. And as a final thing, it actually also teleports the enemy away, as I recall. And that means that it teleports the enemy away, which means that they will be placed somewhere way out here. They won't be able to move or do anything, and it'll just keep shooting at them. And your sniper turrets will also be able to keep shooting at them. Generally, your other turrets won't be long enough range to shoot at them. Okay, so now I've built this. I'm just going to plonk down... Oop, that wasn't what I did. I'm just going to plonk down a couple of extra engineers to get things going. And I'm going to make sure they build this energy collector first, because I have virtually no energy, so I need the energy collector to be able to build up any defenses or things on this planet. Oh, I forgot to check what the advanced research station actually gave me. I get Spire tractor platforms. Looks like I get to get revenge on the AI for tractor beaming all my stuff. So, Spire tractor... Oh yes, I can destroy this now. You can't destroy these things until the command station on the planet has been destroyed, which is why why you have to take the planet. By the way, V and right click puts your ships on free roaming defender mode, which I've used a couple of times so far in this campaign. There you just saw that ship just got translocated by the command station. Free roaming defender mode just means they will go and kill anything that is around. So I didn't really plonk down a force field generator to give some extra protection to my command station, which is very helpful. Oh yes, the other thing that the military command station does is planetary tachyon beam coverage, which means that anything adjacent, like it means that any cloaked ships on this planet are immediately revealed, so the AI can't hide on this planet, which is very helpful. So I can now build up some turrets. This planet is not very important because once you have the advanced research station, you have the ship forever, and you don't need to worry about it anymore. So, and by the way, I'll just tell my shipyard to automatically build these Spire tractor platforms. So even if I lose this planet, I can just take it back again. So it's not a big deal. I don't need to worry too much about defending it. It would actually consider higher a priority to use most of this power on making new ships, which I should probably largely do on the home planet with all the extra engineers rather than here. Alright, let's go here, and there we go. See if these guys actually can go. Some units are immune to transport, which means they can't actually be transported by these guys, but most things can. So these guys have 16,000 health. It's not amazing, but it'll do. 70 by 21. Given there's only 5 ships in the entire cap of these guys, that's pretty rubbish. But they have 30 tractor beams to drag enemies around with. Overall, I'd say this is a pretty mediocre unlock, but it's, it's something. I'll get some use out of them. So I should keep exploring additional planets, because now that I've cleared out this, there's less of... Okay, the reason that my scouts keep getting caught... Scouts are cloaked, so the AI can't see them automatically. The reason that they're caught is because of guys like this, these AI tachyon sentinels. These detect the scouts and allow them to be shot at. So if you want to scout further out, you have to take out these tachyon sentinels, which is something I will be doing shortly. So I will want some guns on this planet. I'm going to do a bit of an alternate defense because there's 4 wormholes. I'd have to really spread out my defenses to protect all these wormholes. So instead, I'm just going to put a couple of guns on each of these. at this stage of the game, I reckon probably 10 guns of each type is going to be able to handle the basic AI waves. Pretty quickly, this will prove inadequate. I'll also just put a bunch of snipers over here. I do... The AI should probably just go and pick on the snipers. I'm building a cap of snipers because, as you recall, this has those teleporting beams. None of these guys are going to be able to shoot the guys after they've been teleported, so I want lots of snipers to be able to take them out. I don't know. Maybe I should build them over there. It's debatable. The AI usually doesn't go after the snipers, so you can kind of just build them off in a corner and they'll keep shooting. But since I'm not going to have any planets adjacent to this one that I control, they'll just lose supply the moment the home command goes down anyway. So I want to neuter these adjacent planets because they're adjacent to my my planet, and that means that there'll be, you'll see here, AI reinforcement, AI alerted, reinforcement is likely. I don't want that, if at all possible. So, okay, the AI is being very aggro. It looks like they're just going straight through the wormhole the moment I annoyed them. The defenses will take it out fine. So, there, this is one thing. When you bother things on AI worlds, they often go into free roaming defender mode. So, which means that they're free to go and attack your planets. So you have to be kind of careful about bugging too many AI units at once, because they can actually overwhelm your defenses. Some of these planets, like this one, this Mark IV planet, all the stuff on this, if it just went and attacked me, it may very well kill me. So I really don't want to annoy them too much. So I'm just going to bounce these guys back and forth, since I'm just one wormhole jump away from one of my planets. Oh. Did I send the other one back, or did it get taken out? Let's grab the rest of these guys and these guys too. The other annoying thing about these transports is they get firepower from ships inside, but it's all about the number of ships inside. So things with low ship caps, like those transports, aren't going to do terribly well compared to ones that are. The AI is not coming after me because these guys are just sitting there invisible because they're not in range of anything. Now, that's a spy shield guard post, so it's not actually a shield, but it does have, like, it's a guard post that has a shield around it, which is quite annoying because I still don't have enough firepower to conveniently take out shields. This being a Mark IV planet is actually going to be quite a process to neuter. I'm not sure if it's actually worth bothering to do the whole thing right now, because it's just going to take a really long time. It looks like they've got quite a few force fields going on here as well. Whoop, get out of there. A bit annoying thing about the transports is you have to kind of be pretty specific about your zoom level if you want to be able to see their health bars. I need to move this guy forward. Shoot. Select guys, hold Z, that'll show you the range of them. So you need to kind of watch that a little bit. Yeah. Transport's handy, but not great firepower, really. It does make it slower, you just don't lose units while doing it, which means you can bounce guys back and forth. And you can kind of keep fighting forever, unless the enemy has ridiculously high-powered guns. They're not going to eliminate stuff. Oh, I have gone way over time, so I am going to wrap up this video here. So, yes, I've been Convolutional Neural Gamer. Thanks for watching.